Let's talk about staying true to yourself and setting boundaries. What is that about from your perspective?
Well, in my own experience, I tend to take on a lot. As a manager, it's important to recognize that you're not the only team member on the team and that you're not responsible for everything. It's really about teamwork at work. And being a good leader is recognizing, the strengths and the talents of the people around you. And if you are starting to take on too much, what I like to do is listen to my body, listen to my gut feeling. So if someone my boss were to approach me and ask me, can you take on this new project? If knowing that I already have a full schedule, rather than just say yes and start to work, crazy hours of overtime, which I have done in the past and hasn't served me.
We will have.
No, yeah, exactly. Is actually to take a moment, listen to my body. And if my gut is getting that twinge and it's saying, no, you're already too busy, it's just to actually say no. It's okay to say no.
Yeah. And I would actually add to that, that's when we really need to tap into our team, right? Because when you think about developing other leaders, that's sometimes an opportunity for someone in the team who may be ready to take on that project to step up.
Exactly. And maybe in my experience, I would serve as a mentor for that person.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's a win-win, right? Because the project is getting done. Somebody's actually doing it that's qualified to do it. That person's growing. They're probably thrilled to be in the role of giving that extra responsibility that they desire to. That's something that they desire to do as well. And you're self-caring and you're setting boundaries around what is possible, because at the end of the day, if we take on too much, we're going to be very shallow across the board than doing a really excellent job. And it's not about perfectionism. It's about really being realistic about the number of hours in the day and the amount of work that we can accomplish.
Yeah, totally. And you hit the nail on the head. If you're spread too thin, you're not effective in your job anymore. And you're showing up as a leader, you're setting that example for your team of right. Being frazzled, and that actually spreads throughout the team.
It does. There's nothing more. People don't realize sometimes that your energy, how you show up to work, and whether you're peaceful, grounded, confident, or whether you are frazzled, you are just putting out fires left and right, that people around you get that feeling and they react accordingly.
Yes, I've worked in places like that very early in my career where I worked with managers who were exhibiting that behavior and that energy. And even though I wasn't overloaded, I was picking up on that. And I was feeling, wow, this is a really
stressful place to work. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that, I'm glad you bring that up, because as leaders, we are setting the tone, right? Yes. We are the ones really guiding and being role models for the people in our teams and our organizations. And so the fact that we are taking responsibility for our well-being, and we're saying, you know what, this is too much, or something needs to be redirected, I think that is responsible. And that engenders a culture of openness and sharing, so that if anybody else on the team is also feeling the same way, that they can feel open to bring that up and share that information.
Yeah, it's very important as leaders. I think we also need to respect when one of our team members is saying no to us and why, and inquiring why, not just assuming that they don't want to take on the work, or they're being a bad employee, for example. So what do we ask of ourselves? It's important to respect the same from our team members.
That's a great point. And understanding them, right? Understanding what's the situation with them. And that's where coaching comes in. I believe that being a manager who has coaching skills can be so helpful, because as a coach, you're always curious and you're always creating a safe space for people to self-express and to push them to be open in a compassionate way, so that they feel safe being open with you. And so the question that I would ask in that case is, what is going on? It's a very open-ended, non-judgmental question. What's going on with you?
Yeah,
how is it going? And people will actually tell you. And then you may find out that, sometimes people have a family member who's in the hospital, so they have to run after work to go visit them, or something is happening in their life in general that's really stressful, that they may be having trouble coping with. And I'm not saying that we're going to become psychologists in the office, but as leaders, we do want to be connected to our employees and really understand what's happening with them at a level that's professional, but yet supportive.
I like that you said compassion. That's an important part. It's not a
Yeah.
word that I've found that comes up too much, especially in the technology workspace, but it is actually rising more and more. And
I
more
believe
people
so.
like yourself and me and many of the other women and men that are out there doing fabulous work is bringing some more of that softer style of leadership with compassion. I think that's super.
Absolutely. Well, we're talking about engaging our employees, right? And that's one of the biggest problems we have today as leaders. So how do we do that if we don't connect with them?
Exactly. That's number
It's
one.
almost like we want to create engaging workplaces, but we're not willing to connect with our employees. So right there's a problem, right?
And even beyond that, it starts with, going back to that morning routine, connecting with yourself and showing up grounded yourself first. So then you can connect with others.
Exactly. So thank you, Sarah. This has been such an interesting conversation. Is there anything else you want to share with us? Tell us how to get in touch with you.
Yes, you can find me on Facebook at Body, Mind, Spirit Coach. And from there, you can find links to my website and my other social media channels. And for your listeners today, I'm excited to offer, if anyone does want to join my community through my mailing list, I'll be giving away 5 copies of my book, Life Reboot.
Thank you so much. That is so generous of you.
Yeah,
So
no problem.
they will find that by going to your website.
Yes.
Okay, great. So, so bodymindspiritcoach.com, right?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you everyone for joining us today. I hope you learned some tactics and techniques to lower the stress in your everyday life. And feel free to reach out to Sarah Wall, and she'll be more than happy to answer any additional questions that you have about how to deal and manage stress. So thank you, Sarah.
Thank you very much.
We'll talk soon.